Hi, this is Harold Ross. Thanks for joining me. This tutorial features this image of a vintage industrial blower that I recently photographed, and it addresses one of the 6 basic principles of light that I teach in my workshops. One of those principles tells us that the angle of reflection is equal to the angle of incidence. That means that when a light source strikes an object, it bounces off at the same angle. Why is this important? It's important because sometimes we want the camera to see that direct reflection, and sometimes we don't. In this tutorial, let's talk about when we do want to see that reflection. Here's an image that shows a mainly black object. Mainly dark objects, especially black ones, are described mostly by their reflection. Therefore, we need to place the light in a position so that the reflection reaches the camera. Note the various angles that I must hold the light in order to get the reflections to show up in the camera. Of course, these still images don't convey the motion that we always use in light painting, but they do convey the different angles one must use when lighting this type of object. Here's another great example of this principle. This is a photograph of a vintage coffee grinder that a friend of mine owns. And here we can also see that in order to pick up certain reflections, I have to move the light into different positions. Again, movement of the light isn't conveyed in these still images, but keep in mind that in light painting, we always use movement to soften the light. Now, back to the image of the industrial blower. We can see in this frame that I have not yet lit the black tube on the left side of the blower. Because it is black, it will only be described by its reflection. Note that the main angle of light is about 45 degrees from the upper right. Therefore, I must kind of cheat with the angle of light. I have to bring the light to the left and down in order to create a reflection in the black tube. And here's the final image. I just love old tools and machines. They often have a beautiful patina that speaks to the many years of use that they've had. Thanks so much for joining me in this tutorial. And remember, always skim the light.